Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It is Friday, June 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th, 2025. All right. So there has been some technical damage. We're going to go through quickly just to get that visual of what is happening. I hope you'll be able to get this great information because the market is giving you a gift right now. It could have took off overnight with the whatever catalyst, and it could have continued and lost some people. But everybody's in this buy mode and they don't believe that this reversal has happened. So let me try to give you my theory and make sure you stick around for the whole video and go ahead and play it at 1.25 or 1.5 speed so you can get all the information. So you watch the full video. I know you have other things to do, and I respect your time. So we are doing this video at about 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So consider becoming a YouTube member if you want to get these videos intraday. It's 99 cents a month. And it comes with the Discord and the trade alerts. We've been on fire the last few days on some of these trades. So make sure you check this out. It could be worth your time. All right, so let's get into it. We have SPX on the daily time frame. And we do these videos each and every day so you can see what these indicators are showing, how they progress, and help you to interpret them. All indicators are not just straightforward. There's some interpretation to them. I get it. The market, somebody can give you the same on the same chart. They can show you a bearish take and a bullish take. That's what makes a market. Okay, so we have SPX on the daily time frame. We have the the primary move here. That's a bearish rising wedge, broke down from that, back tested, created a secondary wedge, and broke down, and now back testing. So with all of the indicators and the negative divergences that we talked about 2 videos ago, that is with that combination, we're really confident that this reversal has happened, and now we're just back testing for a nesting type situation. You'll see that on the lower time frames, and I do believe that we either gap down where this support is, or we start our descent on a further larger move into next week. Okay, so it should be interesting over the weekend and see what happens on Monday. But here we go with the indicators. So we're fighting with that 8 EMA, back on top of it. Again, we're into resistance. So that is misleading in my opinion. We have the McClellan oscillator rolling over. Breadth is not good. We made new all-time highs and have negative divergence on the McClellan oscillator. I love this indicator to catch those terms. Very, very similar to the top here, where you had price rising because of the big tech stocks, and the same thing happening here. Breadth is worsening, and price action stocks like Nvidia and Tesla were holding the market up, for example. MACD rolling over. We have a red histogram already. Our divergences, in my opinion, are confirmed at this point. We have negative divergence in the RSI, and also we're getting our sell signal finally here on the slow stoke. We had a whipsaw at this point right here and made a new high. We actually have a confirmed sell signal at this point today. So look for follow through next week and hold me to that. That's why we look at these indicators. Now you can see what it looks like when we get these sells or the buys. So we had our 9 count sell signal here on DMARC, went a little bit higher. We're starting to roll over. Awesome oscillator headed lower after that negative divergence. Let's go to SPY, and then we can talk about the targets as well on the daily time frame here. So we're looking at the money flow index, checking out the divergences. fantastic, even fantastic reversals, even hidden divergences are available on this as well. Here we go. We have negative divergence here on the money flow. You had money flowing in there. Let's see if that's still holding there. So we had the negative divergence here, and we still have it at this point. We'll see what happens at the close. Other than that, it could just go to oversold again, which is just as good for me in the position that we're in. Bollinger Band, we had our sell signal, got a sell, but I think there's going to be some big follow through coming up. The Bollinger Bands are really tight, and those will start to expand as price action permits. Elliott Oscillator telling us this is wave 3 into wave 5. Okay, so looking at my theory, our Elliott wave count, we're going to have to update the exact penny where this ended here. But we're looking for this to be wave 1, a really steep wave 2, and we're looking for a price target around 400 for wave 3. Okay. Now, if you are bullish, I don't know if I updated this, you could look for a couple different things in the near term. If you're looking for a 5-wave move here, you may be able to count a 5-wave in here. I don't think so. I think there's a B, and then we counted 5 waves in here. So that could be a wave 3 instead of a C. You would want to look for a pullback. I think I have it on the lower time frame. A pullback for wave 4, and then a new all-time high for wave 5. Let's check out the Qs. We haven't done this in a while. Okay, so the Qs, what we had here, we had this pivot that is holding today, but on the lower time frame, you'll see that all we're doing is backtesting the initial wedge that broke down already. Okay. SMH. Now, what I did right now, I had this high here, and I lined them up with these highs, and then I gave like a zone. Okay, I made a channel out of it for that high for the benefit of the doubt. Rejected off of here, had some trouble there, but then got back over and rejected off of the top. That's what our resistance zone looks like, and it was also the gap action here, the gap right here. All right, so again, just holding this primary wedge so far, and still holding a gap up here. We had the gap down there, and we'll see if this breaks down or not. Let's look at IWM quickly. So we had the breakout from this zone. Do we get a continuation to the upside? We shall see. Again, I think this is sort of a fake break. I don't know if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 up higher here. That could be. We'll see what kind of relative strength we get. In my opinion, if we were to get any relative strength from the small caps, we want to see a continuation of the TNX to the upside. I know that might be counterintuitive, but that's what I'm looking for. So, you know what? I think I said that wrong. The TNX, we look for that 10-year interest rate to fall. A lot of people will say, oh my gosh, falling interest rates, that's going to be bullish for the market. So we should have some relative strength in the small caps and weakness in tech, where tech should be able to pull the market, help the market pull down. So I have this right here. This chart, we have our impulse wave down. We have an A, B, C correction. We had an impulse for backtest. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we're getting another nesting here where we're in an equilibrium, but we're getting a bounce. So I do suspect there will be a larger drop here. And again, the relative strength in small caps and weakness in tech. All right, that's stuff that we look at in the Discord. We also look at in the members' videos. By the way, it's $4.99 for the membership where we do individual stock analysis and such. So make sure you check that out. DIA. DIA is holding on to this pivot right now. Actually, this in confluence with this support, but we broke down from this bearish rising wedge. So let's see which one wins. Is it bullish or is it bearish? Okay, the VIX. The VIX has been spot on. Thanks to Jeff in our Discord, we had this trend line that worked out perfect here. And we had the breakout. Now we're getting the back test. Okay, so we talked about that already. That's going right along with plan. This is also where the 200 moving average is as well. We're at support. 19 is going to be a huge area for the market. And I think 19 is going to hold here because we're already at resistance in SPY. You'll see that we're at resistance in QQQ and SPY already. So we have our tap here. I had the trend line to this point. We had a reaction off of it, but this one worked out perfectly with our cycle lows here. We have our low. I believe the low's in, and we're going to see this cycle continuation to the upside. And you're going to check out on the weekly time frame. By the way, that's all that's happening right now. And we talked about this already. We're just forming a reversal candle on the weekly time frame. So if you're not looking at the weekly time frame, make sure you pay attention. We're going to go through this tomorrow, the weekly analysis on the higher time frames. But just to give you a straightforward look, all we're looking at is a reversal candle. That's why price is holding this nesting type action. Let's go to SPY. And by the way, we're looking for another entrance into Tesla to short again. Had a great Tesla short. We're still short, but I want to add another one for next week. Let's start off with a traditional look here. All right, getting a closer look at this. We had the bearish rising wedge, broke down, formed a new wedge, was more flat. So you see momentum is running out, formed another wedge. We broke down another technical damage, and we're back testing. That's it. That's the simplest form. That I could just stop the video right there and just say, we broke down, we're back testing. It's going to drop afterwards, okay? That is the simple version, but let's look at some of these moving averages. So we're fighting with the 8 EMA right now, holding on to the rest of them, fighting with the 8 and the 20, and then have the rest underneath us so far. Cullen. All right, the MACD, we had a crossover. We're at that zero line, so it's giving us a little bit of trouble there to the downside. Like I said, we're just back testing now, and we were oversold for a second, but we're back to neutral. This can continue much, much lower with this move. We have the slow stoke heading down, so we'll see if we start to reverse today, which I doubt it. And again, we're just forming this weekly candle that's just sideways. It's giving us a doji or evening star if we get confirmation next week. DMARC. Might get a 13 count. We have the 9-9, maybe a 13 here coming up. Awesome oscillator, still headed lower. Negative divergences, money flowing out. Still on the money flow. Bollinger Band, we already had our sell. We pushed to the bottom. Now we want to see this start to expand. We're back at that 20, which is the middle band there. Elliott oscillator. Already gave us our 4 and a 5. Done. Looking for that to roll over. Okay, so here's our other looks at it, at the market. And I'm just going to show QQQ and VIX after this. So here's our primary look here. I know it gets gritty in this, but we're looking at this move being done. And what we're headed for is just a little bit higher. We possibly have the 602.2, but we're in the zone already for a possible reversal. And what we're getting, in my opinion, is a 1, 2, 1, 2 to set us up for a weekly reversal. and then we get follow through starting next week. Okay, that is the primary. If you are bullish, we're looking for this last, it's kind of a bullish bearish scenario. So we're looking for this last move to the upside. Now, this could be a ending diagonal here or leading diagonal. All right, bearish means it's an ending diagonal. Bullish means this is a possible extension. All right, we talk about extensions all the time. So this could be the end of a move or the beginning of a new 5-wave sequence. So we have one, potential one, and we should hold in a 2 without breaking these lows. This count is invalidated under this low right here at 575. And then 345 to get us to new all-time highs. And that, in my opinion, would be the end of the move after that. And then you really have this bullish scenario. If this is all an extension, you come back for a wave 2 and 3 up to oblivion, up to 7,000, 8,000, and brand new bull market. Qs. Same thing with the Qs. Let's take a look at 65 for a second. So you have this bearish rising wedge, broke down from it, made new high. And this is, again, that's where you talk about an extension, was that the last 5-wave move to end this entire move. It ended up holding as a wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you have this pivot here that became a trend line from this holding. All right. And then we made new highs. So this is a valid trend line. We broke down from that, back tested. And if you look in the lighter lines, we had our wedge here that broke down, back tested again. So this is what we're dealing with. This is, I know that we have this new pivot that is holding so far, but I don't think we're going to make new highs. So we're looking at this one. Once that breaks down, I think that's the end of it. So you have this potential new pivot. Let's see what happens. Maybe we close gap, maybe we don't. But here's the nesting. If we dig in deep here, we're fighting with the 62% retracement right here. We have a possible 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we start a much larger wave 3 to the downside. And I think it'll surpass this 523 that we're looking at here. That was just the initial 1, 2 there. Now we can look for more extensions to like 517 or even more. And we can add on to, and create these clusters. If we take the top of your secondary wave 1 into wave 2, and then wherever this ends up ending there. So now your wave 3 can get here from this lesser degree and hit these targets for that wave 3 as well. Maybe you get a bounce, wave 3 and a 4 and 5, and then you have a continuation for the last wave there. So we'll look for that next week. So far rejecting. Also, just note that if this is an ABC, that's confirmed above this high here, and then that invalidates any bullish situation, except if it were a leading diagonal. I know there's always like caveats to things, but here we go. VIX. And VIX, you can see how 19 is a really good spot here. All right, we're looking for this right here to hold. And I accidentally took the date out, the extension out there, so that's why it only goes this far. But it actually holds up really well in the past as well. So we had this bullish falling wedge, broke out, made a new one, bullish falling wedge, broke out. And all we're doing is just coming either a 1, 2, 1, 2, or just, making a 1, 2. So we're setting up higher highs and higher lows. We want to create market structure here, positive market structure, and we'll continue to see this, in my opinion, move. This was our zone for a rejection, and we talked about this in the past videos. So this is no surprise. We said that we'll probably get this as a neckline. Now you can consider this some sort of inverse head and shoulder or such. We'll have this look here. Okay, so left shoulder, we're forming the right shoulder, head, and this the neckline here. All right. Now you could probably, yeah, I think that would be the argument for that. All right, you guys, that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for joining us here. Thanks for all the support. I peek at the comments, but I don't really go through and read them. I really appreciate your guys' support and positive comments there. It's just a community that I don't, it was very toxic because I'm going to be wrong again. Back when the, what was it? The tariff crash, I was wrong about getting a bounce, and the channel became very toxic. And so it looks really good right now, but I'm not going to jump back into that scene, unfortunately. But thanks for all the comments and being there. I believe it was Gabriel. Sorry if I'm messing up your name, but I always see your name on there with just good, positive support. Try to do my best to get people to make some money and get in the right direction on the market. And so I see these reversals coming, and you don't want to be caught, at least too long, or at least have puts in them. So I'm just babbling on. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in a weekend analysis coming up here tomorrow.